Brought to you by Pence Homes and part of the Hitting the Hardwood podcast network. This is Lynx Happy Hour. Hey Lynx fans, just a quick but important note here before we start the show today. Obviously, if you are anywhere in the world and have been alive and awake at any point in the last several weeks, you're aware of the terror that's taking place in Minnesota right now. And if you're in Minnesota, you're feeling this terror in many real, horrifying ways on a daily basis. If you follow me on social media, then you know I haven't been shy about absolutely condemning everything that ICE is doing, the cruelty at which they're doing it, and those in power who have enabled this cruelty. But I wanted to make a note of it on the podcast because, not everyone's on social. Not everyone's on Instagram. Honestly, good on you if you're not. It's a way healthier way to live. But to make it clear that this is an anti-ICE space in no uncertain terms. I'm not going to talk about this with kid gloves. Fuck ICE. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis. I'm a very, very concerned citizen for our neighbors who make our communities great. Especially, there's so many parts of Minnesota and Minneapolis I love. I think about all of the spaces in which I occupy, in which there's people from all walks of life who are safe and free to express themselves and enjoy themselves. And especially being a Lynx reporter, Lynx games are spaces where a lot of those people come together, and it's a great thing. And it's things like that. It's not lost on me that level of tolerance and love and understanding and the way in which we thrive is a big reason why the city is being targeted. Also, want to be clear, we know this is nothing new. Renee Nicole Good is not the first person murdered by ICE, and it's just we're not gonna be silent, and I am calling on all leaders and people in positions of power to put a stop to this as soon as you fucking can. This horror is just so un-American and so fucking unacceptable. And I am not going to do the thing where it's like, oh, how can we podcast about basketball at a time like this? Because people, you deserve the small bits in your life that bring you joy. And like I just said, this isn't anything new. ICE has been terrorizing immigrants and immigrant communities since it was founded. It's basically what it was born to do. So while I am happy to still be producing this show, and we'll try to do it more through the rest of this off season, obviously the schedule came out. Fenderbach announced Kayla McBride got hurt, and Kayla is in ESPNW's mentions about them jumping to conclusions. So we're going to cover this stuff. We're going to cover the stuff that we're here to cover, and allow you the ability to consume the coverage and celebrate women's basketball the way it deserves to be celebrated. And I want to urge my fellow neighbors and citizens of the Twin Cities, who many of whom I've gotten to know and meet for the first time through this job. It's so important that we don't lose energy here, but also it's important to take care of yourself at the same time. I saw, a meme. I even hate starting a sentence with. I saw a meme, but I did see a meme that said, we can't be on fight mode all the time. If you are in a moment right now where you can be in fight mode, where you can get out in your neighborhood with your whistle and film these bastards and the unbearable cruelty they're inflicting upon us, then this turn this off, go do that. This show will be here for you to listen to when you need a soft place to land, when you have a minute to just be in Lynx basketball mode. So I'm urging everyone to do what you can to help. If you aren't in Minnesota, there are so many resources online to find ways to help. If you're in Minnesota, if you need help, if you're a person of need, if you are a vulnerable person listening to this, my DMs are open. I'm out here trying to find all the ways in which I can help people and just be a productive member of society fighting back on this bullshit. My DMs are open. If you know someone who needs groceries or just know someone who needs help, if there's a mutual aid request that's dear to your heart, let me know. I am never too busy to help with something like that. And also, if you're just feeling just devastated by this and you just need someone to vent to, my DMs are open for that too. I find myself basically at 0 or 100 these days. I'm either so activated with hope and love for our community and our community's response to this, and then like nearly sobbing the next. It's fucking bad, y'all. But we're also fucking doing it. And if you're pro ice, fuck you and never listen to this podcast again. That is the official stance of me, Terry Horstman, Lynx beat writer, host of Lynx Happy Hour. Not sugarcoating any of this. This spot is not for you. I have a packed show for you today. ELLE MOHS from WCCO joined me. She was at Unrivaled, also in Florida, covering the Gopher dance team championship win. And we recorded that yesterday on Wednesday, January 21st. And as that recording was taking place, the schedule came out. So after the segment with Elle, Andrew Dukowitz joins me to kind of lightly roast the WNBA schedule. So we're going to have those conversations, and they're here for you to enjoy and to consume Lynx content at your leisure. But just reiterate, taking care of yourself and each other in all the ways that we can. And if there's anything at all that those on the Lynx beat or someone I can do, it's a small platform, but it's a platform nonetheless. And I've got time. I've got time for anyone who calls this community home, whether you're in Minnesota or not. So hit me up. Don't hesitate. And enjoy this episode of Lynx Happy Hour. Love y'all. Abolish ICE. This episode of Lynx Happy Hour is brought to you by Pence Homes. The team at Pence Homes has experience working with first-time home buyers, folks selling their first home and buying their next place, to people looking to downsize. With the best tools, technology, and trusted vendors to help with any home project, Pence Homes is a top choice for buyers and sellers. For more info and to set up a time to meet with Nate and the team to talk about your home buying or selling needs, visit pencehomes.com. That is Pence, PENTZHOMES.com. Very excited to welcome back to the show now frequent attendee of Lynx Happy Hour, my friend WCCO's ELLE MOHS. Elle, fresh off a trip to Florida. You're looking tan and radiant. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming back on. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, Florida trip in January is the great escape for a Minnesotan. It felt really nice.
For sure, for sure. Got to check out Unrivaled.
Hmm.
Got to check out the Gopher dance team Dynasty.
Hmm.
Adding another page to that history book. A little Miami Orlando swing. But first, I want to just throw even more, shine and light on exciting things that are happening. Not that national championships aren't exciting or that Unrivaled's not exciting, but you're engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the
Congratulations.
Gophers were getting another ring. I also
I,
got
there you go. Put that rang on it. This is an audio medium, but let's see. Oh, guys, it's sparkling. Look at that.
it.
Queen
Yeah,
shit.
Peter did good.
Peter
Peter did
did
good.
good. Peter did good. He went to Jared. He did not. I can tell he didn't. Well, congrats to you two. That's very
Thank you.
very exciting. Please don't get married during a Lynx game. Is all I ask. Uh, have you
Because
guys
that's what
got?
you did, right?
Nah, I got married during the season, but
Yeah, mid-season.
the wedding wasn't during a Lynx game though. Our welcome party was during a game. It was the game this year against Connecticut at home where the Lynx had like a crazy comeback in the fourth quarter. And the venue where we had the welcome party had the game on. And I was, of course, like
Love it.
watching it and taking notes. And my parents being like, "You're not supposed to be working right now, dude." And I'm like, it's, I'm just doing it as a fan, come on.
This
Um,
is so on brand. I love it.
right. But so congrats to you guys.
Thank
Is the
you.
wedding planning, do you know, just happening right away? Or are you guys going to take some time with it?
We are going to take some time. We're just kind of living life and we're going to get to the wedding when we get to it, probably definitely in 2027.
Okay.
So, um,
Yeah, give yourself
like
a
we're
long
thinking,
runway. Yeah.
yeah, we're giving ourselves a long runway for sure.
Nice. Like destination wedding
You
or
know, I actually
which
am
will weed out,
pretty,
people who you don't want to come.
honestly, like you're not off. I
Ooh.
have always been, it's not that reason, but I have always been kind of anti big wedding. I
Okay.
I just think, and again, this is nothing against people who love a big wedding. I love attending them. They're so
Hmm.
fun and to be a guest at, but I just personally feel like they're a big waste of money. I'd rather put that
You're
money
not wrong.
towards a home, a honeymoon, the future. And so for me and Peter, we definitely want to do something really small with just our families. Originally, we were thinking like Minneapolis City Hall, but because we're going to take our time, we might do like a destination in the US that we really love and
Hmm.
do it at that city hall or like, in a mountain town somewhere.
Right.
So it might be a destination, but no matter what, it's going to be pretty private.
Nice. I went to a very small wedding at San Francisco City Hall once, which is like
Was that cool?
what it is. It's a very beautiful city hall. It's something that I think like John Legend and Chrissy Teigen got married there, or they did
Ooh.
like took photos there. It's kind of like a chic celebrity thing to do, but I don't think like if you aren't having like a ceremony there and you're just like doing the actual like legal processing part of it and taking some photos, I don't think it's that expensive. And it's just like the most beautiful city hall in the country, I think.
Yeah,
So
so many city halls are gorgeous. So I
mhm,
think it could be very chic.
there you
I'm
go.
into it.
Nice. Awesome. Well, congrats to you
Thank
guys.
you.
We're excited for you. Also very excited. We're gonna start
Thank
with
you so
just
much.
talking. I know it's a basketball podcast, but basketball is sometimes I think of as like a dance, uh, as a competition, and um, pretty notable dance competition that you were just at. Minnesota Gophers dance team, which is maybe the greatest team in any competition ever. Just took home, I think, a number of national championships. Would tell us about the experience of just covering that event and how dominant these Gopher women are.
Yeah, first off, I'm so sorry. Can you see my camera? I
You're
can't see
frozen
myself.
with a very funny smile right now, but I can hear you clearly.
Okay,
So
good. That's
maybe
all
your
that
camera just
matters.
went away, but yeah, I can still hear you. But I'll
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot of this and just send it to you later, just
Okay,
so that
please.
you can see it because it's pretty funny.
Please. Oh shoot. Yes, I went to Orlando for the second year in a row to cover the Minnesota college dance teams that were competing there
Mhm.
at UDA Nationals for their 24th and 25th titles. They ended up walking away with their 24th, making them, they already were, but just adding to the
Right.
most winning college dance team in the country. They're also the most winning team at the University of Minnesota, the most
Hmm.
titles of any sport. So we just had to get a front row to history and to this dynasty. And people are wowed when they see the videos on social media, but to see them in person is just watching the talent of these athletes.
Yeah, that is amazing. 24, 24 titles. It's exhausting just thinking about it. Who is the coach of this team and any other, central characters that people should know about and be sure to go look
Yeah.
up?
So their head coach is Amanda Gaines, and she's
Mhm.
actually an alumna of the team. So she was on the team in the early 2000s, like 2005 era.
Mhm.
Um, and like I think she graduated, her last year was 2008 or 9.
Okay.
But she is an alumna of the program herself. She's won quite a few of those national titles, and now she's their head coach. And she's also the head of the spirit squad. So she overlooks the cheerleading team as well, helps with
Mhm.
like their fundraising and their planning. She's not the cheer head coach, though, that's someone else. But
Okay.
she just oversees the whole spirit squad. And her at the helm has just been incredible. She has such a vision and just I think being someone who knows what it's like to be on that floor, that nationals floor, she's
Mhm.
the best person to guide these dancers under immense pressure because she knows what that pressure is like. So she's incredible. She's definitely one to watch. This year, one of their senior members who took the floor for the very last time was the first boy to ever be on the team. His name's Matthew Greco. He joined the Gophers as the first male ever on the roster, and it was his senior year and took home a title. So that must have felt really great for him too.
That's amazing. Nice. Well,
Yeah.
shout out Amanda, shout out Matthew. And then so you mentioned they got their 24th title. They were going for 24th and 25th. How does like the category breakdown work?
Yeah, so kind of similar to football in a sense, because with D1 football, you have two divisions of D1. You have like the
Mm,
big schools, like the Ohio States, the Gophers, the
mhm.
Penn States, and then you
Oregon State
have
Beavers, of course, too.
oh yeah, and then you have like the smaller D1, and that's where you find like the University of St. Thomas and
Oh, okay.
NDSU. So it's super similar, the
Okay.
layout. So they have three divisions. There's D1A. D1A is
Hmm.
all the big schools. D1, and
Hmm.
that's the St. Thomas's, and then Open. And Open is where you find all the smaller schools like Minnesota State Mankato competes in Open, University of Minnesota Duluth, St. Ben's,
Hmm.
St. Cloud State. They all compete in the Open category.
Okay. Nice. I gotcha. Well, awesome. Glad we had some local flair take home some more hardware. And yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to Gopher Dance specifically, but also just dance everywhere in this state. Well, glad they were able to get that championship done in Orlando and that you were there for it. Great job.
thank you.
On that local beat angle. You also got to go to Miami for a bit of Unrivaled. I know it was a condensed visit because you had to get to Orlando as well too, but got to catch up with some legends. Rachel Banham being one, Alex Bizzell being another. Just for those of us who have not had the privilege of attending Unrivaled, which just so clearly is the coolest place to be in the world right now. Just the sights, the sounds, glitz and the glamour of Unrivaled. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, I do encourage anyone who's never been to Unrivaled to try and get there because it is so cool. But it's a very unassuming location. It's in this like extremely industrial area of Miami. where you just see these like kind of like shipping garages, trucking garages, and you're like, where am I?
Right. It just
And
is a shipping container.
it is a shipping container.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you pull up and you see these like string lights and you see the big Unrivaled sign and you see a huge giant Sephora billboard and you know you're in the right place. So it's definitely hidden. It's not this
Hmm.
big giant arena like the Target Center. That's hard to miss. But once you're inside, the glitz and the glam is all there. You
Right.
walk up through the twinkly lights, and there's all this fan engagement right away. You can play these games where you walk away with a Sephora bag with products and an Unrivaled t-shirt. There's photo ops throughout this runway. And then there is multiple food truck
Hmm.
style shipping containers that have like gourmet burgers, loaded fries, chicken wings, and the cocktail list is incredible. It's like espresso martinis, an Unrivaled sour. Uh, they know they did not miss a beat. Like every T is crossed and I is dotted when it comes to the
Amazing.
fan experience.
Nice. Well, now that you mentioned cocktails, I assumed I'm going down. I'm not getting a credential. I'm going down as a fan because espresso martinis on the clock are kind of a no-no. But on your own time, you're
Exactly.
speaking my language. Yeah, I'm really excited to get to talk to Fee at some point. I know she's on the mend, but just
Mhm.
from like the business dynamic of it, like what they learned in year one, how they've added it to year two, because I know it's a certainly a tough business to run, but it looks like they're killing it from the outside looking in. Um,
Yeah.
the Obviously the vibe check was something that they had nailed right away.
Mhm.
Wasn't worried about that at all. But good to know that that is still a strength of it. I know you didn't get to see a ton of basketball just due to being there for, probably the length of time to finish one espresso martini, maybe two. But what games did you get to see
Mhm.
while you were there, and just kind of like what is like that in arena experience like?
Yeah, so the arena is really intimate, even though it may not feel like that when you're watching from TV. Obviously, condensed court, but it is probably 3 or 4 rows only.
Hmm.
And then the media sit right behind that fourth row. So if you're media, you get like an amazing vantage point being what feels like
Nice.
courtside. And it's just like bells and whistles, this arena,
Hmm.
the lights, the screens. You walk in and they have the two matchups on the wall. And it's this like it's not like, a fast food restaurant sign where they can like switch out the letters. It is like these glow light signs that say
Mm.
Rose versus Hive and Phantom versus Laces. Those were the two games that were happening when we were there. So the only Lynx player was Natisha Heidemann, and they had a great upset that night. To the reigning champ, the Roses.
Hmm.
Were able to take him down, which is pretty cool. So T had a great night. But yeah, it's an intimate arena experience, which if you're a huge basketball fan, the access and the proximity to these legendary players is indescribable.
Right. Yeah, T's killing it, and I think that was probably right after she got back from just getting inducted to the Marquette
Yeah,
Athletics Hall of Fame. So just easy
exactly.
work for if you're Natisha Heidemann, she does it all. And I know you got to catch up with former Lynx, but also Pride of Minnesota, Rachel Banham. How this first year in Unrivaled for her? Like, what did you guys get to talk about? And how does it sort of feel like this is a good step for her at this point in her career?
Yeah, I mean, she admitted that she's like, I know I'm older and I'm a veteran. And so she's like, I'm playing with all these like young bucks who are kind of the up and coming rising stars of the league. But she said, I've already felt my game improve just being here because not only in a 3-on-3 environment is it so much more cardio and like running the court, but you don't get as many opportunities to create plays and like drive the ball. So you have to like be a great shooter. You have to just perfect your jump shot and your 3-point perimeter shot because that's sometimes your only option. And so
Mhm.
she just said it's been great for her game to improve and to just keep up with these up and coming rookies now soon to
Mm.
be second years. So yeah, she's loving it and she's sad about Fee because that is one of her best
Right.
friends and they're on
Hmm.
Lunar Owls together. But she's like, I can't believe I'm playing with like Skylar Diggins, who's
Hmm.
on the Owls with her. And she's like, I'm just in awe of her every day. So it was cool to talk to her and catch up and just talk about how much we love Minnesota together.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, based on Instagram, it looks like she and Fee still get to hang out with each other plenty.
Yes.
Isn't it always fun when, someone who is old by active player standards, but still younger than you goes like, "Oh my God, I'm so old." And
It's brutal because I know she's younger than me, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm the
Mhm.
old one." I'm like, "Girl, you're
Right.
still
Flying
you're
up and
still
down
so
that court
young."
too. She looks amazing. Yeah, I'm like, I look at the court, I'm like, ooh, I could maybe get up and down that court. Not in that kind of game, but just like in a
Right.
random pickup game of, other writers, maybe. I might not get super winded, but yeah. Rachel's 5 years younger than me. I just confirmed. So not allowed to can complain
No.
about being old. So yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, definitely a bummer for Lunar, who
Mm.
came so heartbreakingly close to the final last year and not having to play without Fee. So that's you
Yeah, but I
def
saw that they won their first game of the
they
season,
did. They got
and
off the snide
yeah, and Skylar is back after starting the season on the bench with an industry injury.
injury.
So yeah, so maybe like they have enough pieces together to make it work. So we'll see.
Excellent. Um, I know Fee wasn't playing, which means, she doesn't have to put up
Hmm.
with the media. She or isn't forced to. Um, not that it's
Well,
ever an issue hanging out with you, Elle. That's a little bit more exciting than having to put up with me. But sorry, what
well,
were you
get
about to say?
this.
Yeah.
I was annoyed because, well, not annoyed. I just totally
No.
understood. But I had put in a request to talk to Fee while I was there, thinking, oh, she has way more time on her
Hmm.
hands. And they were like, unfortunately, she is off somewhere getting surgery right now,
Okay.
and she's not even in Miami. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, well, that's understandable. No worries. And then I left for Orlando that night after covering Unrivaled. And then on Saturday night, Unrivaled posted that Queen Fee is back. And they posted a video of her like rolling in on her scooter. And I was like,
Okay.
man, I missed her by one day. But it's good to
Man,
see her back and in good spirits. Now the road to recovery begins.
for sure, for sure. Well, get well soon, Fee. You did
Yes.
get a chance to speak with her husband, Alex Bazell, who also runs Unrivaled. What any insights from Alex on running this league in year two and how that operation is going?
Yeah, yeah. He shared how they've learned a lot of lessons from year one to year two. And he said what he's most proud of is how much tangible growth that they've seen. I wish I could call the numbers off the top of my head right now,
Mhm.
but it was insane how much ticket sales, merchandise, investment, all of that has just like doubled, tripled since
Mhm.
from year one to year two. And I asked him about the tour stop in Philly because
Mhm.
Unrivaled will be doing Philly later this season. I think next month, maybe
It's
end
in
of
like
this month.
I think it's next week.
Oh, next week. Okay,
Right.
so at the end of
Mhm.
January.
Right.
And he was saying that Wanda Sykes, the comedian, is
Yeah.
from Philly and she's a
Uh-huh.
huge investor in Unrivaled.
Oh,
And I
hell
said,
yeah.
and he goes, that's kind of why we wanted to like bring it to Philly. Like, obviously, they used to have a W team. They haven't in a really long time. So there are basketball fans there. And he was just like, I said,
Hmm.
well, is Minnesota next? Like, are we going to see an unrivaled Minnesota stop? And he just, all he could tell me was Minnesota's on our short list
Next
of,
year, you have to, Alex. Come on.
Come on, Alex. You need to
Yeah.
bring Unrivaled here. It would
I
be
mean, you
nuts.
know it's cold, but still, like with between Alex and Fee,
Yeah,
you know we'd fill the place. And
exactly.
right,
And more. And then
nice.
some.
Okay, we can start applying that pressure, I
But yes,
think.
let's
Right,
together apply that pressure.
right. And yeah, that Unrivaled Minnesota 2027. We deserve good things as we all know. So that will just be
Agreed.
um we'll start working on that and let you all know
Hmm.
how it goes. Well, fun. I'm so glad you got to go down and do that. My Unrivaled plans basically went out the door once Fee was out for the whole thing.
Hmm.
And there's obviously Lynx players there too, but like it's a lot of money, guys. And so I
Yeah.
have to make those tough calls sometimes. As much as I would love to have been in Miami in January, there's can't have it all, I
No.
suppose. But nice. So Unrivaled, top of your list now for women's basketball destination recommendations.
Yep. Totally add it to your list if you can. It's incredible. And
You guys
just,
could get married in Miami next year and then just go to hang out at
oh,
Unrivaled.
I'm so down for that.
The espresso martinis are already there.
Exactly. I'd get married on that court. It's stunning.
Great lighting.
Sponsored by
Yeah.
Sephora.
There's
Great
already
lighting.
photographers there. You wouldn't have to pay the crazy fee for photographers. We can do this. Yeah. You just
Yeah.
basically make your wedding sponsored by other brands without their knowledge that your wedding's taking place, and
Yeah.
then they pay for it essentially.
One thing that also stood out to me that I thought was interesting, and you might find funny as a journalist too, um, when I was communicating with the Unrivaled media person, trying to get these interviews scheduled with the players, she said, "Well, we need to have enough time for them to get glam before the interview." And I was like, "Oh, this is just a podcast interview. It's on my phone. Like it is pretty laid back. It will
Mm.
be on camera, but it's chill." And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, cool. That makes such a huge difference. Like I'm sure the players won't want glam then." But she's like, "We just have to coordinate glam time before any media comes here." And I was like, "God, that is so different from the W
Right.
season." I just feel like they're treated during the Unrivaled season, which is the off season, they're
Mhm.
treated at a way higher celebrity caliber than they
Right.
are during the W season.
If yeah, I think glam should be worked into that, and then
Agreed.
yeah,
Like
just
glam is
as an
fair.
option, yeah. I had I don't think she would mind me telling. I think it was the second or third time I interviewed Dejanay after the trade. It was after a shoot around, and it was just me, but she was like, "Can I not be on camera, please?" And I was like, "That's totally fine, Dejanay, I got you." um, but like if that's part of the new CBA where it's like every team has to hire a full-time, glam coordinator.
Yeah.
That's there at the ready.
And the thing is, and I asked Alex Bazell about this, I mean, I know he couldn't speak to the CBA not
Mhm,
being a player, but I just asked like, how are the players feeling right now with this elephant in the room? What are you hearing? And he was just like, these players are seeing how they deserve to be treated at
mhm,
this unrivaled experience. And it's adding more fuel to their fight in these negotiations because they're valued and they know their worth at Unrivaled
mhm,
with full glam. The media set that they had set aside for us to do the interviews was so professional. There was two chairs as if it was like a podcast
mhm.
setup. I mean, everything is just next level, over the top, nice. And that same experience doesn't exist in the W for the
Mhm.
players. And they're just seeing their worth more blatantly, I think, in Unrivaled.
Yeah, that does make it interesting because it's like you can't really say, "Oh, these things are impossible for a league to provide," when the A-list players are all participating in a league that is actively providing these things. And I think everyone knows the scale is smaller, but that I think that's what's been kind of a big hang up in CBA
Mhm.
negotiations is like there needs to be a demand that a bare minimum is reached in terms of just what, medical resources are provided, training staff, analytical staff for players to have, those resources to keep upping their game. Like, we see firsthand that the Lynx have always taken that seriously, and it's like I think
Yeah.
that's a big reason why you want to play for the Lynx is, especially right now, you want to play with Fee, you want to play with for Cheryl Reeve, play in front of a fan base that cares, but also you get hurt, your practice facility is literally a Mayo Clinic facility, and some of the
Mhm.
best doctors and sports medicine professionals in the world are
Right
right next
there.
door. And shout out to Chuck Barta, head athletic trainer, runs a tight ship over there. Has been with the team for 20 years, and that's just not that's the standard. And more teams will start reaching towards that standard if at least the floor is a little bit higher. So I think that
Right.
getting the league to even acknowledge that there's a floor, I think has been tough. And it's
Right.
not second time DJ Carrington's been brought up on this podcast. Finish your drink if you're following along at home. But like she talked about the omelet station that they have just in like their like the dining room at the facility, and was just like, yeah, that's not something that we were getting in Connecticut or Dallas. T mentioned that
Mhm.
to me too, like the just from a nutrition standpoint, but also just like your own health, wellness, and happiness standpoint. Like people love eating at the facility and like eating with each other. That does great stuff for team chemistry and culture, and also ensures that your players are, nourishing their bodies, which is pretty
Right.
fucking important. So yeah, I think that's one of those things, and Unrivaled, like you can totally see Fee and Stewie's vision in all of this, but like what if we made a league that like does most of these things right? and
Hmm.
or like doesn't just like try to tick a box, but like actively make these things, soar over the expectation. So it is not
Right.
surprising that has I don't think that's the only thing that's made negotiations take a long time, but it's definitely, part of it because the league doesn't have that card to play.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for me, as someone who covers the W, I'm like, oh wow, this is so fancy and so nice. But it's like, oh wait, this is actually what should be the standard.
Hmm.
This should be the bare minimum. It just feels so fancy compared to what I'm used to in the regular W season. So
Hmm.
they're raising the bar and all these star top players are now seeing what could be, and
Hmm.
it just makes these negotiations all the more complicated, but for the right reasons.
Right. As we're talking now, early afternoon on Wednesday, January
Yes.
21st. Yeah, there is still no deal. Maybe by the time I get this up tomorrow on Thursday, that will change and I'll need to have an emergency tack on to it, but I doubt that's going to happen. Though it feels like it's been a little quiet the last few days at least.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it looks like as we speak right now, teams are teasing out like the schedule. So like
Really?
we're gonna get a schedule before an agreement, and I don't know
Wow.
if the schedule coming out means an agreement is more likely. I think they just have it because they've known they're expanding to 15 teams. They've known who they are for a while.
Hmm.
They know it's another 44 game regular season. They know when they've mentioned we have a draft date, April 13th, so it's coming. But
It's
I,
coming.
I think some people will be like, "Oh, there's a schedule. That must mean it's happening for sure, right?" I don't think, unfortunately, it means that. I do know it would be embarrassing if we started having to cancel some of those dates. So it applies some
Yes.
pressure, which is a
Hmm.
good thing. Pressure is a privilege, as the goats like to say. But yeah, so that might be coming out later today. I'll add it to the either beginning or end of the podcast if it comes out before tomorrow. But anyway, Elle,
Yeah, we'll see.
so good to
I'm
see you.
ready. So good to see you too, Terry.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry, you're going through a like probably 110-degree difference in temperature, but we're happy to have you back home.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back home with my community and my people. There's no other place I'd rather be.
Awesome. All right. ELLE MOHS, WCCO, thank you so much for taking the time, Elle.
Thank you.
Well, we are in luck. We get a little bit of a double dose of an episode today, as Elle and I were speaking yesterday, January 21st. The whole schedule came out. Does that mean there's a CBA? No, because that would make sense. But here's the schedule just in case. Uh, and then also this morning, Kayla McBride got hurt in Turkey. We'll talk all about it. Joining me now, Andrew Dukowitz, longtime contributor, multi-time appearer on Lynx Happy Hour. Andrew, how are you doing today, my man?
Was better 3 hours ago when I first woke up and didn't know K-Mac had a undisclosed severity of a tear in her quad.
You were still awake at 6 a.m. though, so that couldn't.
I was still rolling around,
right?
But just that's. I mean, we'll get into it. I mean, other than that schedule thing, real quick. Every other league in the world, I'm sure in the world, I think even like the like very small Norwegian Scandinavian leagues, when they release a schedule, they usually release like, here are the holiday games, or here are the big rivalries week, or like, here's the first time Minnesota will play New York, and they kind of leak that out for a couple weeks. Not the WNBA. They're just like, no CBA, here's your entire schedule, go.
Yeah, I don't know if the lack of a CBA contribute. I would have to go back and look at like if there what the schedule rollouts in previous years were, but I don't know. I haven't gone through every teams yet either, but I thought the Lynx schedule release shtick with the movies thing.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was good. Nicely done. Lynx content. They always come correct. But yeah, so just the entire schedule, which I believe there was some reporting that we were gonna get it in like February. Just a little bit of conflicting dates from different sources, and then all of a sudden, here's just all of it. Take it. The world is on fire, and what's the point? So here it is. And actually, I appreciate that because I want to plan the summer. So yeah, thank you. Just give me all the goddamn dates. For K-Mac, some kind of tear in her quad. This could be serious or it could be not so serious because as we were discussing, and you are a medical professional, Andrew, and
technically, yeah, I do have a license.
It's not technically you are. I hope you don't say that to patients. Like, well, technically, I can do this, but
just like on the Lynx beat, I'm the vibes guy. I'm the vibes guy in the nursing cubicle as well. I'm like, yeah,
sure,
could be an open wound.
Well, I mean, yeah,
but like, I am taking a more until something else comes out, because like a grade 1 tear or strain is like a couple weeks to a month recovery. Like cool. if her muscle is detached from the bone or ripped in half, then like, yes, she's gonna miss the season. But like, until you get bad news, I think it's best to just err on the side of boring. And let's be honest, sure. Like K-Mac plays herself to exhaustion. I don't think she can't like feather the gas pedal when she's playing, whether it's Minnesota, Turkey, Unrivaled. So maybe like a month and a half off in the middle of the off season isn't the worst thing in the world for Kayla McBride's like long-term production. So I'm not panicking yet, but it was like heartbreaking because she is just a delightful person. So
right. And playing for Fenner means a lot to her. So I know it'll be tough for her to be on the sidelines and just watching. But yeah, like you said, we can talk ourselves into like, oh, the timing actually helps. So this is a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it could be for
Kayla McBride,
fortuitous timing. If it means, all right, now she's gonna be on the shelf for a little bit. and could potentially come into training camp having not just played like a shitload of EuroLeague games and winning another Turkish Super Cup like immediately before, getting on a plane, walking off that plane and into a Lynx preseason or early season game and hitting 8 threes, which she does do. So we'll keep an eye on that. That'll of course be part of Mitchell Hansen's next offseason update, which is Thursday the day? No, Mondays are the day for that. So next Monday.
Yeah, he just
Uh,
had one come out. So I
right.
think he threw out a little blurb in the Hitting the Hardwood newsletter. Go subscribe. It's free.
It
But
is. It's free and
yeah,
it's glorious.
it sucks because again, like it means a lot for K-Mac. K-Mac is like such an incredible human being off the court that like you don't wish injuries on anybody, but like you put a little extra into your wish for K-Mac that she doesn't get hurt. But for the Lynx, I think as long as it's not serious, the Lynx plans with her are probably the same of like, let's get her re-signed and then start the season with her.
Yeah. So I didn't even think about that. That the timing of it, now it's like she'll have to go to market with a
Torn
looming
quad.
quad injury to talk to teams. So I hope that doesn't affect her leverage, too much. But okay. Should we go to conspiracy theory corner first, or do you want to make fun of the
Yes,
schedule
let's.
first? Oh,
So I live in a world
real
where
quick. Andrew texted me and said, "Oh, the conspiracy theories I have unprompted for this, unprompted." So, as I said earlier in the episode, the things I say are the opinions and beliefs of me, Terry Horseman. So, without having heard these conspiracy theories, these are the opinions and beliefs of Andrew Dukowitz, and may not necessarily reflect the proprietor of Lynx Happy Hour. So these could be good. Buckle up, Andrew. What do you got?
So first and foremost, I don't know how good Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe's chemistry is. I haven't been catching up on that podcast a ton. But in the past, I've said you're the Ryan Russillo to my Bill Simmons. I just go off the handle
God,
and you kind of reel me back.
Dude, I was having a good day. Why would you do that to me? All right, I'm not gonna. Whatever.
So
I
reel me
understand
back
what it
in.
means. I don't like the subject of the comparison, but I get what you're saying.
So reel me back in if you need to. But let's just live in a world for a second. We get Fudd, right, with the number
Okay.
2.
Number 2 pick, AZ Fudd.
Paige is heartbroken. She's shattered. All of the stands of the Fudd Paige relationship are heartbroken, but the Lynx have Fudd. They could just be like, hey, K-Mac, let's rehab you. Let's bring you back in at the midway point of the season so you can still, hit threes, and we'll start you slow, have you come off the bench and get back into that starting lineup. Fee, dual ankle surgery is a big deal. Like, you might want to just maybe take this year off. You're a mom after all. You just dealt with a really tough negotiation. Like, Fee, maybe this is just the year that you take off. You let Court walk, you let T walk, you let BC walk, you re-sign Dejanay, and you just let this go. Alana Smith, Dejanay, Fudd, go, and you win 8 games. Which puts you in the lottery for Juju Watkins, who you could then draft and come back in 2028 with a core of K-Mac, Fudd, Juju, Smith,
2027,
Dejanay, 2027, yeah, Dejanay, and Fee. Young core, lot of talent, historically good players, and like the best upside out there. And all you'd have to do is err on the side of caution with all these injuries. That's all it would take.
Okay. In a word, my one word response to this is no. I also think the team you laid out, so they draft Fudd. You have Fudd, Dejanay, Alana Smith, and then like what else do you do in like free agency?
Nothing.
Well, you'd have to have players, so they'd have somebody.
Uh,
I don't.
Olivia Pupa is back on the team, starting
Okay,
point guard.
I love Olivia Pupa starting point guard. That
Cam
would make
Taylor
me happy.
starting power.
And I would love Cam Taylor starting power forward. I love Cameron Taylor,
I've
as you
talked
know.
you into it already. You're like,
No,
ooh.
you really haven't. You're just saying the names of players I like. There's a difference. Uh, well, one, I think the main flaw in that is I think at least the three players who are playing K-Mac coming back for like the second half of the season. Uh, a starting lineup that's, if it's Fudd, Dejounte, and Smith, even if you put scrubs like you and I in there, that team's probably winning more than 8 games.
Yeah.
And let's not forget who the coach is. Um,
That's the biggest flaw in this conspiracy.
the biggest flaw
That's
is how
Cheryl
good the
Reeve.
coach is.
The second biggest flaw is I have seen Fee play a basketball game with her shoulder ripped out of her socket, essentially.
Right.
And like, I don't think you could sell her on that. But
No,
the biggest flaw is Cheryl Reeve, I think, is incapable of tanking.
Right. And I think these aren't like ruptured Achilles injuries for Fee and K-Mac.
Yeah.
There's like the the optimistic side of the official prognosis of Fee's got would be like her playing in training camp.
Yep.
And that is optimistic, but they said that's like what the official thing, like like Lynx fan, like, oh yeah, exactly 4 months from now it's still training camp, retroactive to January 1st.
Mhm.
I'm
not
so yeah,
denying
I'm not
anything
with
you're
you on this, but I think the roster would still be too good. I know Reeves not going to tank, and I also don't think you should tank if you're planning to have K-Mac and Alana Smith playing with Fee for like the long term. I know there's NBA examples of this. And even what the Storm? The Storm
Honestly,
punted.
not so many
Well,
NBA examples anymore.
The
Like,
Storm. It's been. I mean, it's the Warriors one time, but
yep.
they didn't. They got the player they got didn't help them.
Correct.
The other players just came back, and of course the Spurs getting Tim Duncan. I'm trying to remember. Did the Storm truly punt on the season when they got Stewie? Because they had, Sue Bird and Lauren John. I don't know if there were players hurt, and they're just like, yeah, we're just not going to try this year. I think Phoenix kind of tried. There was a season that DT took off, and Griner. Sorry again, fam. I didn't know Andrew was taking me here on my own podcast, so I did not look up. Oh yeah, Wayne's thinking actually worked. But we also know the Lynx aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
And
again,
I think could still have a pretty damn good team. I think it's more of a when you have no other option. But yeah, okay. Is that the only one that you have, or do you have other? You said conspiracy theories, or was that just the strands within the theory?
I do think the schedule was released this way, not on accident, but I think it was supposed to come out in February, as we discussed, where it probably makes more sense when they're like, here's the opening weekend, brr, 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 air horns.
Sure.
I think something happened with the CBA for the WNBA to use this as like a leverage tactic of like,
sure,
here's the schedule. Now you're on a time crunch. I think
does help
backfire horrendously if that's the case, because like the players have all the leverage and the public opinion. But I think something happened. Don't know what it is. I'm not reporting anything because I have no clue what it would be. But just my gut says something must have happened in a meeting, and then Kathy was like, F it, release the schedule.
Okay. See,
it seems on brand, doesn't it?
Right. That does seem on brand. I can see that as being something that happened. Because having dates on calendars applies schedule, and that could be a way of the league maybe trying to get a little bit of public opinion on their side, because if you have games that fans start making plans for, and then you get to a point where it's like, oh, some of these may not happen, then that's often in these things where public sentiment can turn on the players a little bit. Um, sure, yeah,
Those are my only two conspiracy
okay.
theories.
I
But like
can,
as soon as it got released after I sent you my grumpy text of like rabble rabble, why does the WNBA not do anything normal? I like sat there and I was like, this is just some like bad faith, like another ploy to try and get public opinion. And it's like, it's not
yeah.
gonna work.
Well,
Like
they
the
certainly,
WNBA fan base is
they,
they're a very smart fan base.
right. Well, they're certainly not winning the court of Andrew's opinion, is
No.
what I'm getting with this. Can we make fun of the schedule a little
Yeah,
bit?
we can. Let's make fun of the schedule.
Let's make fun of the schedule a little
Mhm.
bit. So there, a lot of it is just, a normal schedule, but we can, I'll make fun of anything. um, as you know,
Spoken like a true bully.
season and home opener, May 10th versus the Atlanta Dream at Target Center, 6 p.m. The I think the times listed on this are they're either all central or all local. They have to be
Yeah,
local because all these like Seattle ones are 7 p.m. So
yeah.
I would
It has to
imagine
be local.
it's all local time. So
Because the New York noon game would be a 11 a.m. game if it wasn't
no, that would be one.
Yeah.
It's the Seattle noon game would be 10
Oh
a.m.
yeah. Yep.
Uh,
That's the one I was
kind of
thinking
fun,
of.
yeah.
10 a.m.
I
start.
hope the was it Climate Pledge Arena out there? They may have a good breakfast. So great omelet station. Shout out Dijon. Second time on this episode it's been mentioned. Um, Atlanta, May
What's the
10th.
first time?
Oh, Elle and I talked about Dijon and the omelet station very briefly.
Okay, fair.
But so yes, you think I'm not going to take the opportunity to bring up Dejanay Carrington's admiration of the Minnesota Lynx omelet station when I get a
She was
chance to?
just so shocked. She's like,
Um,
man,
yeah, God, things in Dallas
Tupperware,
must be
Tupperware
awful.
cereal to omelet stations.
They go. All right. So my main gripe, end of the last 3 games of May. This is, and I put all
Okay.
this on my blue sky,
I'm
just my
zooming in.
initial stream of consciousness thoughts. Saturday, May 23rd at Chicago, matinee. Wednesday, May 27th versus Atlanta again. So the first home game of the year and the fourth home game of the year are both against the Atlanta Dream. Kind of goofy, but I get it. Sometimes that happens. But then after that game in Wednesday, it's right back to Chicago on Friday, May 29th to play the Sky again. And I'm just like, you're going to make me go back and then back and forth. We can't do the same thing like we did last year. Um, I understand that you have 15 teams that all need to play each other an equal amount of times. There's some weird stretches here. That's my main gripe, that you have back-to-back road games in the same location, but in between those two road games is another home game. And it being against an Eastern Conference team, I don't think makes a difference, but it does make it just like look goofier, including one you just played. So they will play Atlanta twice in the first 2 weeks and then not again until August 30th.
They play Chicago 3 times in the month of May and then never again. Indiana.
Robbing me of true summertime chai is maybe what I'm most mad at. I know late May it'll be fine, but like
Indiana, the last 2 games of the season, find another like at August
that's
2nd,
a home and home
then
with
the last
Indiana.
2 games in of this, like what it like for, and I understand the Caitlin Clark fan base and all of that stuff is a controversial issue, but there are still like a lot of people that really like watching her play and think of her as like a role model, and young girls and all of that stuff. And like August 2nd, September 24th, like what if Caitlin's just done, like gets injured? What if August 24th
Sure.
they're not playing for seeding and you spend a bunch of money to bring your girl to
Yeah,
watch
but
Caitlin
both
Clark?
those September games could be meaningless. I think the August 2nd one, that's a Sunday at noon. That will
Like
be
that one's fine, but
yeah,
it's
that's
just
fine. I'm
like
good with that.
a Caitlin Clark game. Like I realize she has to play, every team in the league and stuff like that, but it's just like Really the
Yeah.
last game of the season when everyone could be benched. And like, I don't know, I do feel for some of the like CC Iowa fans that like drive all the way up here. Not the like
Right.
crazy ones, but like there's a lot of little girls in the crowd that are there
Right.
to see her. And like that's just, in my opinion, that's just like crappy. And
Right.
it's the same thing with like Angel Reese. Like, so if she sprains
Well,
an ankle, Lynx fans don't get to see her at all for the entire season.
that's
Just
yes.
weird. It's just
Well, I
weird.
mean, getting ugh. It's just weird to have the Chicago thing. The 3 dates with the Chicago Sky in May
And then
is
done.
so weird. Yeah. The All-Star weekend in July is in Chicago. Um, I've already got my arrangements for that. And so there'll still be some Chicago flavor after that. But yeah, not no Indiana until August. Like that's kind of how it felt with New York this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lynx had 3 consecutive games with the Liberty. I think played 4 times in a stretch of 19 days. The final 3 over a stretch of 8 or 9. Uh, there's always going
Which
to
it,
be something goofy, but there's so much goofy shit in this dude. The other one that I'm mad at, like at Chicago versus Atlanta at Chicago. There's another one in July that's at New York. This one I'm actually more mad about because there's such a clear
yep.
solution.
I
At New
know what you're
York
looking at right
on
here.
July 3rd. Oh, 4th of July weekend in New York. That seems fun. Maybe there's another game on this road trip I compare it with. It's certainly not the previous one that's at Dallas, basically, which is not a suburb of New York. Uh, and then the next one is versus Connecticut on Monday. And guess where the following game after that is? At Connecticut. We were just rubbing shoulders with Connecticut. Can't we just play Connecticut in Connecticut while we're in basically Connecticut?
It's
It's
also
not
a three
their
games.
schedule because that Connecticut's part of that game.
It's also what, 3 games in a week, 3 games in 6 days. So like the airfare alone is gonna suck.
The airfare alone is gonna suck. Um,
I
yeah, and
will
then
say there's not as many like 3 games in 5 days stretches. Just like
no, there's one
looking
after
through it.
that in July. That's all at home. New York, Phoenix, LA, July 11th, 13th, 15th. Those are all home games. 2 of them are matinees though. July 15th, that'll be the Lynx Camp Day one. That's all fine. I'm bummed there's only one trip to Portland here.
Yeah.
That's in August. That's I think the longest road trip. And then here's another thing that I know Cheryl's pissed about. So August 12th, the first game of a 4-game road trip at
Mhm.
Portland. What's next, Andrew? Or August 16th in Vegas. That's also out there in the same time zone. That makes sense. After that, at Golden State, trip to Valhalla. Nice. That's also in the same time zone. 3 days in between that game. Wow, we're cooking. What's the next game on this road trip? At Washington, D.C. Did the
Do you
schedule
think
maker
the
look
guy?
at that and think that it was Washington State?
That's honestly what I was
Are
gonna
we
ask
playing
you.
the
Like, did
Cougs?
they forget where like Seattle and DC are different places, or that's the other thing that annoys me about this, and like there is like a big stretch of time, so it's not as, I'm in full NBA mode right now, so I just want to preface that. And something that they do in the NBA a lot is if you're an East Coast team going on a West Coast road trip, or if you're a West Coast team going on an East Coast road trip, you just stop in Minnesota for one game on your way out there. So you have
Right,
like a 6 hour flight, stop in Minnesota, 3-4 hour flight.
right.
It also happens to the Wolves a lot where they're playing on the East Coast and then they fly back to Minnesota for one game and then fly to the West Coast. And it'll be like 3 games in 4 nights. So they're like
Right.
Boston, Minnesota, Clippers, Lakers. They do that to the Lynx here where it's like that long West Coast / East Coast road trip.
Right.
But then they come back to Minnesota for one game and then they go back to the East Coast. Like
Right.
why can't we just switch Golden State and Atlanta? Why can't we switch Golden State and
There's
Washington?
so many days in between that Golden State and Atlanta game.
It makes no sense. Like again, it to your point,
Well,
like
and then
makes
it's
no
on
sense.
break. Then it's on break for roughly 3 weeks, or the games are on pause for
FIBA, right?
September for the FIBA World Cup. Um,
And then they come back and play 4 games that will probably be very meaningful for playoff series, and then
yeah,
into the
good
playoffs.
God.
That
Going
stretch
from
is going to be
40 to
insane.
44 was the dumbest thing ever. Wait until after this World Cup year if you're going to do that. I mean, the more games thing, and they're just doing this in every sport now. It's clearly just, greed from
Oh
league
yeah.
office and owners. Like, hey, let's make the players play more games so we can get more gate money, uh, and have
The other
more
thing is
product to
that
sell
Atlanta
TV.
game on the 30th of August. You couldn't move that up to the 26th and just give people an extra 4 days on their break.
Yeah,
Like,
that sucks that
like you just
like
have to
a
stay
break
in
is coming and then
Minneapolis
you'd
for 4
have
days.
like a week in between a game.
Like
Can I make
those
a
are the
prediction?
things that annoy me more are just like the why are you making people's lives kind of annoying?
Can I make a prediction that's going to get Cheryl mad at me? I mean, she doesn't
They
care,
lose the
but
Atlanta game by
no,
30.
they're gonna play like I mean, yeah, they're gonna play like shit in that Atlanta game. That it's like
They're gonna have 5 days off
there's
before a
two to
break.
th I mean, and this is just kind of part of
Remember when we
playing.
were
You
like,
have two or
remember
three
when we were
games.
kids and like you'd have the Christmas break and sometimes like January 1st would land on just the right day and you'd have to go back to school for like a Thursday, Friday before you'd get the New Year's break. I don't know if that ever happened to you. I
Oh, that
remember
never
it
happened
happened
to
to
me.
me
No,
once in high school and like might as well have just like murdered
no,
the teacher because
right.
like no one was
No
on
one's
it.
doing
No one
anything.
was
Yeah.
focused. Everyone was irritated. Like that's how that Atlanta game's going to be.
That specifically never happened to me, but I remember there was one year where this was before they just made the collective decision to never give us snow days again. They're like, we're Minnesotans, we don't
I
have snow
remember.
days.
I remember that
But
year.
before that they did have snow. I remember one year we'd had like maybe 3 or 4 snow days, and if you hit like more than two, they'd be like, all right, now you have to like make up at least one of them, whatever.
Yep.
So they tried to tack on another day to the last day of school, like kind of like late in like they made the decision in like March or something that they're gonna do it, and didn't get it like organized away because shocking. And then they like even like the dude was like absolutely not like we were not making these kids have one more day beyond what is already programmed into their little minds. What is the last day of school, which is Christmas of summer. So yeah, that is what that game feels like. Coach, please don't get mad at me if they play like shit.
You can
But
get mad at me. It's fine.
that feels
I'll
like the
probably inevitably ask you something really dumb
that
this year.
well, that
So
feels
just
like
get it
the
out of
one
the way.
game where it's just like, oh, like yeah, they just have to have a game where they play like shit to remind you that like they're human.
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, we
And it'll
might
be right before the
have to
break.
keep
So
talking.
everyone will be for 2 weeks. They'll be like, are the Lynx stumbling?
Yeah,
Do they have enough?
is Coach Reeve cooked?
I'm still
I'm
like
so happy that
irritated she didn't
discourse
win
came for
coach of the
women's
year
basketball. It's so fun that that exists and we get to interact with it daily. Sorry,
every
what'd you
year.
say?
I'm still upset that she didn't win coach of the year last year.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault.
I know it was. It was literally
They
only
might
your
not.
not. It was
They
only
might
your
not.
not
They
fault.
they might not let me vote ever again because of it. But yeah, stand for something.
She put together statistically the best regular season without their best player for a. You can't penalize Fee by saying, "Hey, you can't win the MVP because you missed too many games," and then
That
penalize Cheryl for winning too many games
for
without
winning
the MVP.
most of those games. Yeah, with their 7-4-8, like her winning percentage without fee would still be the best
Be
winning
the
percentage
best.
in the league.
I know.
Um,
Oh,
so
irritated.
that is irritating. All right, we got 5 minutes before you have to get to Wolves shoot around. Appreciate you taking the time this morning. Any other gripes with the schedule? Anything else? Any road games that you're going to try to get to?
I'm gonna try and get to Chicago, Indiana, and kind of the Midwest ones this year, just
Right.
because, uh, it'll work.
Well, those are all the Midwest ones.
Yeah. I mean, Lynx fans, a heads up. I do go to Summer League for the full 2 weeks in Vegas.
That's true. It's part of your assignment.
2 weeks of coverage in July, but I mean, we got Nicole, new on the beat for Best Damn W show. She's awesome.
Nice.
I think Sneaker Reporter is still going to be back this year. I know he's a little burnt out from covering basketball year round for his entire adult life.
Travis can't be burnt out.
But
if anyone's immune to burnout, it's Travis.
I will say
he should be at everything.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this year with the Lynx beat because I think we got a good core and group of people. Not saying Kent wasn't a good core group of people, but
no.
I think we're going to be able to honor his
memory. Legacy. He's not dead, but we're going to memorialize him as if he were.
We're going to put a shrine up in the writer's room.
We should have a shrine. I would love a Kent shrine. That's got to be in the budget. I'm going to start applying for grants just for the Lynx beat to do wacky things with.
I think the other thing I'm hopeful for this season is that they open the upper bowl a little bit more. I think, objectively Lynx tickets are way too expensive and it probably drives the price down a little bit if they just have more cheap seating.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just a different atmosphere when you have a full arena,
Of course.
I think those are my only two thoughts.
Okay.
Grace Grachowski is being mocked in the second round now for 2027. So shout out Gophers.
2027?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, she's not coming out, is she? Fun. Shout out Gophers. And they beat Oregon last night, which is, what I always love to see.
They almost did the thing where they have an 8-point lead with 2 minutes left and then choke it away like they've done a couple times this year.
Let's walk away from the controller for a little bit.
Yep. They held on.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for making fun of this funny schedule. It's some low hanging fruit, but I'm happy to have you here doing it with me, Andrew. Appreciate your time, man. Have fun with Finchy. Tell him I said hi. He'll know what it means. And yeah, we'll catch up. We'll catch up again soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. And, everyone be safe out there.
For sure. Andrew Dukowitz. Thanks, buddy. That does it for this episode of Lynx Happy Hour. Shout out to ELLE MOHS for taking the time right after her very, very busy Florida trip. And to Andrew Dukowitz, as always, willing to be Johnny on the spot anytime news breaks. Get well soon. Kayla McBride. Sounds like it's not as serious as the all caps post by ESPNW implied. Kayla had a pretty funny Instagram response to that right as we were talking about it this morning. So shout out to Kayla McBride as well, as always. And shout out to you, Lynx fans. Thank you so much. I have been Terry Horseman. You have been excellent. Tune in again next week or the week after. I'm still kind of trying to pin down the cadence of episodes up until the season starts. Yes, I'm talking about it in those terms, even though I know we don't have an agreement yet. Choosing to be optimistic about at least one thing in the world right now. And again, yes, please reach out if you just need an extra pair of hands, someone to throw some money at a mutual aid request, someone to vent to, etc. Be excellent to each other. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.